Welcome back to a new episode of Release Control. This is episode 12, and this one is red flags you shouldn't ignore in dating. Let me say that again. The red flags you should not ignore when you're out there dating. Okay, so again, welcome back. Today's episode is all about dating and red flags, the warning signs you should never ignore when you're getting to know someone. Recognize these signs early can save your heartache and help you find a partner who truly respects you. Going back to someone who truly respects you, values you, someone that you can grow with, someone that you can have a relationship with, and someone that you can ultimately marry, have kids, and have a life with. That's what we all want, right? Someone that we can love and someone that's going to love us back. All right, so with that being said, let's jump into red flags that I've ignored in the past. And we'll go to my most recent relationship. Red flags that I should have paid attention to, and I didn't because I was in love, right? I thought they were beautiful. I was attracted to them. All these red flags that came back and bit me in the ass and will ultimately bite everyone else in the ass. All right, so with that being said, some of the red flags were lack of communication, lack of effort, lack of emotional awareness, the inability to regulate their emotions and, articulate their emotions and their needs and their desires. And not just them, me too. I had red flags of over communicating, over loving, needing reassurance. So we all have red flags. The question is, what are you doing to improve your red flags? And are you able to recognize red flags in others and address them and not just ignore them, not thinking that if you love them enough, those red flags are going to go away, or loving them enough, thinking those red flags are going to become green flags on their own, right? So it's all about self-awareness within yourself and being able to pinpoint these red flags in other people. So what you can expect in this episode is breaking down important red flags you should not ignore, either addressing them or knowing that, hey, this red flag I'm not going to tolerate and I'm going to move on. So understanding that, right? And it's big because when you find someone so attractive, it's hard for you to be like, man, this red flag I'm going to address. A lot of people just ignore them, think that they'll go away. And again, it comes back to ultimately biting you in the ass and most likely being one, if not one of many reasons that the relationship will most likely end. So we're going to jump right into it. So the first segment is all the red flags that I've come up with, and we're going to talk about them. Lack of communication skills. A lot of people lack the ability to communicate, and it's not just communicate like, hey, how you doing? What are your feelings? I'm talking about like in-depth communication, right? Because communication is essential in any relationship. So are you dating someone who avoids talking about important topics, seems to shut down when emotions come up? That was my ex, right? I was, on the other hand, I want to talk about my feelings. I want to talk about it. And the more I wanted to talk about it, the more she wanted to shut down. So are you that person that either shuts down or wants to over communicate? And are you dating someone that shuts down or over communicates? Because if you are one and they are the other, you're pulling and they're pushing, or they're pulling away, right? You're pulling like, come to me, and they're pulling away because you're triggering things within them, right? So this is a red flag you need to be aware of. Communication skills. Can this person communicate, or do they shut down? Do they shut down and be like, I don't know what I'm feeling, I don't know how to articulate it, or I don't want to articulate it with you. I don't want to talk about this with you. This is important because if you are the one that is over communicating and they are the person that does not want to communicate, that is going to be a problem. You are going to feel like this person does not care about you. This person does not want to be with you. This person does not want to grow with you. This person cannot communicate because they are shutting down for whatever reason from their past. They are shutting down. And by them shutting down, you're going to feel certain ways about it, which are not good. And you are going to either try to over communicate, over love, over explain, go above and beyond what you want to to ensure that that person knows that you care about them, and all they're wanting to do is shut down and shut the communication off because it is too much for them. It is overwhelming for them. And it's going to cause issues, arguments, resentment within that relationship. So you need to find someone who is open, honest in communication, and does not feel uncomfortable when you want to talk about a certain topic. This is important. You cannot just ignore this. You cannot overlove somebody through this. You cannot do anything on your end. It's all about them. Are they wanting to communicate? Are they wanting to work on themselves? And I'm not saying this is a red flag that you need to run away from. This is a red flag that you need to bring up to them and ask them, hey, is this something you're willing to work on or not? And if they're not, then you need to move on. Because if they're not willing to work on it, then you're going to build resentment over time that they are not communicating with you, and they never communicated from the beginning. So whose fault is it? Is it their fault that they don't want to communicate? Or is it your fault that you invested time, your love into someone that told you from the beginning that they either didn't want to communicate, they don't know how to communicate, or they did not want to work on communication? So something to really look into and really think about, because investing in someone is investing your time, and time is a fucking finite resource that we do not get back. It's not something that we can return back and get our time from. If you're investing 6 months, a year, 2 years into somebody, you're not getting that time back. You're learning a lesson, but you're not getting that time back. So it's something to really think about, because communication is essential in a healthy relationship. Next red flag, disrespect towards others. What does that mean? Okay, is this someone that is disrespectful to people out in public, right? So are you going with this person to dinner, and are they shitty individuals to the waiting staff, to the waiter, to the host? Are they just shitty, rude people? Are they shitty, rude people to family members? Are they shitty, rude people to just anybody because they don't like how something is going, or it's taking too long to be seated, or their food is taking too long to be made? Disrespectful towards other people. That is a huge red flag, because if they are disrespectful to other people, they are most likely going to be rude and disrespectful to you when it comes to arguments, when it comes to communication, when it comes to needing to talk, needing to vet or, talk about your feelings, any of that shit. If they're rude to random people, they're going to be rude to you. So how they treat other people, whether it's friends, family, or strangers, can tell you a lot about their character. And if they're rude and dismissive to others, they're going to do the same thing towards you. Sooner or later, they will do it towards you. So something to really, really think about. Paying attention to how they interact with other people is so important. So disrespect. If they're disrespectful, red fucking flag. Now, it's not something you need to ultimately run from. I suggest you may, but it's something to really address to them and ask them why they're like that with other people. And maybe they'll answer you, maybe they're not, but it's a red flag that you probably should definitely not ignore, probably should address, and most likely that should be a red flag that you leave the situation and let that individual go on with their life. Because disrespect, again, if they're doing it to random people, they're going to do it to you. And you don't ever want someone to disrespect you, treat you like shit, and ultimately, not give a fuck about you. So something to think about. Next one, red flag number 3, jealousy and possessiveness. Okay, do you have someone in your life that's super jealous? Super jealous, whether it's you talking to other people, you having coworkers that are opposite sex, or whatever it may be. Now, jealousy and possessiveness is different than boundaries. And let me explain what I mean. So a lot of men have the boundary of male friends. They don't like their whoever they're dating to have male friends. And I say that because I am a male, and I know that a male friend At some point from whenever they met you, they had feelings, whether it be in the beginning, they thought you were attractive and you were like, no, I'm not into you. I'm going to put you in the quote unquote friend zone. With that being said, they're in the friend zone waiting for their opportunity to jump in and make it more than friends. I'm telling you right now, ladies, if you're listening to this, guys, if you're listening to this, you know what I'm talking about. If a guy is your friend, he wants more and he's just waiting for his time and his opportunity to jump in. And if this guy friend is always talking shit about the men that you're dating, that is a fucking telltale sign that it's more than just a fucking friendship. If he can dog and talk shit about every man that you date like they're the problem and you have no part in it, that is a fucking sign that he's interested more than just a friend. I'm telling you right now. Your guy friends should not talk shit about the guys that you're dating. Now, should they tell you that, hey, he shouldn't talk to you like that, he shouldn't treat you like that? Absolutely. But if he says that dude's a piece of shit or you can do better or whatever, I'm telling you that's a fucking red sign. Or that's a sign that he's into you and he's not just fucking your friend. So that is the difference between a boundary and jealousy, is that guys have boundaries that, hey, I don't want my women with guy friends because I know what guys are thinking. I know what guys want. And it becomes an issue in a relationship because the guy friend is talking shit about the guy, making it more of an issue and causing a rift in that relationship. Or he's just sitting back waiting for the first argument so he can jump in, tell you, hey, come over, let's talk about it, and then try to make another fucking move on you. I'm telling you, guy friends are not just your fucking friends. So with jealousy, though, it's another thing. So in the beginning, you need to be very clear with your boundaries. Guys, be clear with your boundaries. I don't care how attractive this woman is. Let her know. If your boundary is, hey, I don't want you having male friends, or I don't fucking think male friends are healthy, then stick with your boundary. I don't care how attractive she is. You don't need to control her. You don't need to be jealous. You don't need to be possessive. Let her know, this is my boundary. You can respect it or not. You're not here to control her. You're not here to change her. If she understands, she understands. If she cares about you, she cares about you. If she wants to have male friends, let her have male friends. You move on to someone else. Same thing with the ladies. If he has a bunch of female friends, I'm telling you, it's more than just fucking friends. I'm telling you. Now, I understand having coworkers and stuff like that. Got it. But a male and a female to be fucking best friends, to be just friends, no. A guy needs guys to be friends, and females need females to be friends. I'm telling you, there's more to it than just them, quote unquote, being friends. So jealousy, though. Jealousy and possessiveness it could be a bad thing. Definitely a bad thing. Again, a difference between boundary and being jealous and possessive. So that's just my experience. I'm not big on females having a bunch of male friends, and I don't have a bunch of fucking female friends because I know it's a thin line. Me personally, I don't need fucking female friends. My friends are men who can fucking understand where I'm coming from, understand what I'm dealing with, and so on. If a fucking female friend, or if a female wants to be a friend, nah, I have no use for it. There's no use for fucking female friends. Now, if you work with females, you work with males, that's different. You have to, that's a whole nother world, and that can be done. But if you're hanging out with just fucking females or just males, sooner or later, it becomes a problem. Sooner or later, someone is going to cross the line, and it becomes more than friends, or it's that awkwardness, or you're going to have to tell your fucking significant other that, hey, so-and-so just crossed the line, or I crossed the line with so-and-so, and why you want to put yourself in a position like that. So there's an importance of healthy boundaries and mutual respect in a relationship. There's no reason to be jealous. There's no reason to be possessive if you will have healthy boundaries, letting the other person know, like, hey, this is what I want. This is what I need in a relationship. Either you can respect it or not, and we can move our separate ways. But there's no reason to be jealous and possessive in a relationship when the boundaries are set and clear and both sides respect it. So if you have a jealous partner, possessive partner, that's not healthy. Definitely not healthy. Something to talk about, something to either end the relationship on, or they can grow or you can grow and the relationship can grow, but there's no need for jealousy and possessiveness in a relationship. Now, when there's boundaries in place. So another red flag, avoiding responsibility. If someone is consistently blaming others, never takes accountability, or struggles with responsibility in their own life, it's often a sign that they may avoid responsibility in relationships too. So if you're dating someone and they never take the blame, and I see this a lot on social media, is, oh, my ex was the problem, or my ex this, my ex that, but never me, never I, that's a problem. Like my last relationship, I had a lot to blame, or there was a lot of blame for me. You know, I was very anxious in that relationship, so I needed reassurance from her. It's not her job to reassure me. It's not her job to reassure the relationship every single time that I needed it. It's me to be able to reassure myself that the relationship is good, that I am good. So I had a lot of blame in that relationship as far as probably needing too much from her, a lot of expectations that she wasn't able to meet. So I had a lot of blame in that relationship. So if you meet someone and you're dating someone and you ask them, how did that other relationship go? And all they have to do or say is that other person was bad. That other person treated me wrong. That other person did so much bad. That is a fucking red flag. Someone who has no self-awareness, avoids responsibility, is a red flag. And to me, I would move on, man, because that person most likely is not going to change. That person has been that way for years and will most likely not change that thought process or that behavior. So that's just my thoughts on it. But remember, accountability is key for growth and maturity in a relationship. Being able to say, I was at fault. I'm sorry. I fucked up on that. It won't happen again. I'm going to grow. I need to grow in that area. That's all people want, is for you to say, hey, I fucked up. I messed up. As long as it's not something like fucking cheating or something crazy like that. You know, I'm sorry I raised my voice. I'm sorry that I handled that argument in that way. Totally unacceptable. I need to do a better job. I will do a better job. Please allow me to fucking work on myself. That's all you have to say, man. And by accepting responsibility, that goes a long way in a relationship, in a marriage, in dating, whatever. It goes a long way. So again, if you're dating someone who avoids constant blaming, just blames other people, just takes no accountability for themselves, that is a huge red flag and something to really look at. And again, most likely that's a red flag that you should move on from, because that person's not going to change. Red flag number 5, inconsistent behavior and mixed signals. This happens so much in the dating world, right? Inconsistent behavior. Hot, cold. Hey, I want to see you. Oh, no, never mind. I can't. I don't want to see you, or whatever the case may be. Mixed signals. Hey, I'm into you. I'm not into you. What the fuck is it? It goes back to being very clear and upfront with what you want. So if a person wants you, ladies, if a guy is interested and wants to get to know you, he's going to make the effort to get to know you. He's going to put in the time. He's going to put in the effort. And I'm assuming it's the same way on the other side, on the other sex, females. I'm sure they do the same fucking shit. But ladies, if a man is interested, he's going to make it known. He's going to make it known. He won't have inconsistent behavior, no mixed signals. When a man is interested, a man will do what he needs to do to make you understand that he's interested, that he wants to see you, that he wants to date you, that you are the one. Actions speak louder than words. A person can say all the right things, and then their actions can look total opposite of what they're saying. That's why you're like, oh, what's going on with these mixed signals? Or, damn, I'm so confused. It's because they're saying one thing and they're doing another. Go with the actions. Go with what they are doing. If they are saying, hey, I'm interested in you, I want to see you, and they're doing it, they're setting up dates, they're going to see you, that is clear signs. If they're saying, hey, I want to go out with you, I want to take you out, I want to get to know you, and they're texting you once every couple of days, nah, man. That's straight up sign that they're not interested and they want nothing to do with you. Again, if a guy is interested, he's going to make it known, make it very clear that you are the one he is interested in. So that is a red flag, ladies, and I'm sure it is for guys too. Inconsistent behavior, mixed signals, red flag. Again, communicate. Like, hey, I feel, again, we're going with I words. I feel that you're giving out a lot of mixed signals because I'm asking you out. And this is for the guys. I'm asking you out. I've asked you out twice in the past 2 weeks, and both times you said you couldn't do it. What's going on? I don't feel like you're interested. I feel like, you text me one day and then I don't hear from you again in 2 days. What's going on? Be clear with me. Are you interested or not? If you're not, you go your way, I go my way. So again, their behavior will tell you everything that you need to know. Everything that you need to know. Red flag number 6, lack of support for your goals. This could be a big one. Actually, it is a big one. So let's say you're dating someone and you let them know, like, hey, your goal is, I don't fucking know, to start a business, social media business where you're a social media marketer, whatever. You're trying to start social media, you're trying to grow a podcast, whatever it may be. And if this person cannot support you, then that's a problem, because we all need someone who is going to support us through everything that we go through. Someone who is going to be our rock. Someone who is going to tell us, hey, you can do anything you set your mind to. We need that support, and we need it from our significant other. So if you're dating someone who cannot give you that support, then I'm telling you right now, you need to be upfront with that individual. Like, hey, what's going on? I need support from you. I need you to be the one that supports me through this hard shit. If you support me, I got you. And this is big for men, ladies. Ladies, if you support your man when he's down, I'm telling you, when he's up, no one else is going to be in his fucking eyesight. No, he's not going to pay attention to anyone. I'm telling you right now, if you support a man through his tough shit, through his hard times, through when he's down, when he's struggling, he ain't going nowhere, man. He ain't going nowhere. And I'm sure it's the same for ladies. So you need that support, and you need it from your partner. You need someone who believes in you, someone who's going to support you, someone who is going to fucking trust you, someone who's going to see your vision even when you can't see it, someone who's going to show up every single day supporting you even when you are having the hard times and the hard moments and you can't fucking see it. You can't see the end of the tunnel. You need someone who's going to be there to support you every single moment of the day, and someone who believes in you. That's fucking huge. Someone who believes in you. If they're not encouraging you and they're not fucking supporting your personal growth, then why the fuck are they in your life? Get rid of them, man. If they're not willing to support you and they're just holding you back and holding you down, why the hell are we wasting our time with that individual? There's going to be too many people out there that support you and love you. So why waste your time on someone who's just shitting on you and not giving you that support, not believing in the things that you want to do in life? So that's my advice on lack of support for your goals. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time with someone who is not fucking supporting you. It's that fucking simple. I don't care how attractive they are. I don't care how much you love them, because if they don't support you, do they really love you? Do they really love you if they're not supporting you? So red flag number 7, consistent negativity or criticism. Are they always negative? While everyone has tough days, someone who's constantly negative can drain your energy. This kind of attitude can impact your own happiness and overall relationship. Okay, so I used to be a pretty negative person, and I've really had to work on getting out of that mindset. So being around someone that's negative can really drain your fucking energy, especially if you're someone who tries to be positive all the time, who tries to see the good in things. That negativity will drain you. That negativity will fucking change your energy levels. And prime example is like, hey, when you're having a good day and you have that friend who's having a shitty day, and it's not their fault, they're just, everything's going wrong for them that day, and you talk to them 5, 10, 15 minutes, and you're talking to them, they're telling you about their hard day, of everything that's going on with their relationship, with work, with the kids, with life. That conversation is going to change your energy. They're most likely going to leave that conversation feeling good because they released all that negative energy from them, and it's most likely now pushed onto you because you sat there and you listened and you understood everything that they're going through and you gave them your time because you're a good friend, you're going to fucking feel that energy shift from beginning of that beginning of that conversation to the end of that conversation. Energy shifts, energy moves, and negative energy, consistent negative energy, negative thoughts, negativity fucking drains you, man. It fucking keeps you down. So you need someone who is positive, who sees the good, who, even though shit's going bad, hey, that's okay. Shit's going to turn around right now. And that's how I'm trying to live my life. There's some mornings I wake up and shit's going south already. And I'm like, no, not today. Not today, man. So having that positive attitude, positive mindset is key. And I know sometimes it's hard to have it every single moment of the day. So I get it. There's moments that you can have negativity, but it can't be consistent. It can't be all the fucking time. It can't be 90% of the time, man. You know, that's just can't have it. Can't have that in your life, man. Can't have it. So we're going to shift over to why we ignore red flags. And there's a few reasons why we ignore red flags. First one, fear of being alone. Shit, man. I had this one. You know, this is something that I'm working through right now. And it goes back to the ending of my last relationship. You know, when she left, when she ended it, that fear of being alone came to light real fucking quick. All the thoughts in my head started popping up. Okay, I'm going to be alone. 44 years old, single. Fuck, what am I going to fucking do? You know, I'm already old. I'm already halfway. If I'm lucky, I'm halfway at the end of my life. If I'm lucky, right? So 44 years old, like, fuck, man. No one's going to love me. I'm going to be alone. Like, this is a fucking fear, dude. You know, being alone or being single, it's fucking, it's fearful sometimes, you know? But it's something that you cannot allow to control your thoughts. You cannot stay stuck in that, I'm going to be alone, or I'm fucking scared of being alone, because sometimes it's okay to be alone. You know, these past 4 months has been a good amount of time for me to realize that you're not going to be alone forever. This is just a period of time where you need to work on yourself, where you need to improve certain pieces of your life. There are certain areas that you need to really focus on, and it's okay. Sooner or later, you're gonna find somebody, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with right now being alone. I'm okay right now with growing, improving who I am, focusing on certain things in my life, because my life is changing. In the next 14 months, you know, I'll be looking for a new career. You know, I'll be retiring from one career, moving on to another career, moving from one state to another state, closer to my daughters, and I can't fucking wait, you know? So whoever I talk to next, you know, who knows what's going to happen? You know, who knows? And, you know, I'm open to it. I'm open to work. I'm open to the world. I'm open to life. And, you know, the fear of being alone is no longer there, you know? I'm not scared of being alone. I'm not scared. So that's a huge fear of why people ignore red flags, is being alone. And it's a mindset. It's how you talk to yourself. It's the words you use. It's how you talk to yourself is so fucking important. You know, the beginning of that breakup was crucial because it was so negative. I'm alone. I'm going to be alone. Nobody wants me. I'm 44. I'm old. I'm halfway through my life if I'm lucky. All this negative bullshit that I had to get out of. Now it's like, hey, I may be single, but that's okay because I'm working on me. I'm focused on this. I'm going to do this. This gives me so much time to focus all this energy on this. Focus all this energy on me. Take me out. Love me. Focus on me. And it's been fucking great. It's been fucking great. You know, last episode, you know, I talked about how I missed her or whatever. And this week, I'm doing fucking great. I've come to the realization that the relationship is over. I've accepted that the relationship is over, and it feels great. It feels good to know that the relationship is over. And I never thought that I would fucking say that. But it feels good knowing that the relationship is over, that there's no chance that she's coming back because she says she's not coming back. It's over. This gives me an opportunity to start my new chapter fresh. I am writing the new chapter of my life and I'm fucking excited. I'm doing this podcast, episode 12 already. Social media, I'm in my current job. I retire from that soon. I start a new career. I move to a new location. Everything is going great. My relationship with my youngest is turning around. Everything is going in a positive direction. And sometimes when you're going through the shit of it, through the toughness, through the heartache, through the pain, you don't realize that this is the beginning of a new chapter, and the new chapter can be amazing because we don't want to let go because of fear of being alone or any of the other fears. And it feels fucking great to start a new chapter. It feels fucking amazing, man. So the second reason that a lot of people ignore red flags is excusing behavior due to attraction or chemistry. And I'm fucking guilty of it. I ignored a lot of the red flags with my ex because how fucking attractive she was, how she looked, and her body and everything. I ignored all the red flags. But you can't ignore the red flags because someone is fucking attractive. There's so many fucking attractive people out there. There's no reason to fucking ignore them. You address them, be like, hey, I'm noticing what I think is a red flag. What can we do about it? Can we work on it together? Can you work on it? Whatever. Let's grow as a team. Let's grow as a relationship. Let's grow as a relationship, and let's see where we can go. And if people are not willing to work on these red flags, then why are you wasting your time? I don't care how attractive they are. And this is hindsight now that I'm looking back to that relationship is I should have never ignored them. I should have never ignored the inability to communicate, the inability to understand their feelings, the inability to communicate what they needed or wanted. Should have never ignored any of this stuff. I don't care how attractive she was. Now that I look back, I'll never do it again. I'll never fucking ignore these red flags. I don't care how attractive they are. I don't care about anything. I don't have the time, the willpower, and I just don't want to ignore them anymore. So my advice to you is don't ignore these red flags for any fear. I don't care if it's fear of being alone. I don't care it's how attractive they are or anything. Don't ignore the red flags. But yes, due to attractiveness and chemistry, a lot of us seem to ignore the red flags. And her, how attractive she was and the chemistry I thought we had, I ignored the red flags. I closed my eyes and I looked the other fucking way. And they came back to fucking bite me in the ass. So, with that being said, don't ignore the red flags due to how attractive the person is or the chemistry. Address them and address them hard. And yeah, either they're going to work on them and you're going to work on your red flags, right? Because red flags, everyone has red flags. They do, I do, you do, everyone does. So are you willing to work on your red flags? Are you willing to work on the trauma that you've had in your life? And if you are, great. That relationship can grow. If you're not, be upfront, man. Be like, hey, right now, I don't want to work on it. Right now, I don't have time to work on my shit. And then fucking move on. Third one, believing you can change the other person. I'm guilty of it. I thought that if I loved her enough, that if I showed up enough, if I fucking loved her like no one else did, I could fix it. I could show her that she's being loved like she's never been loved before, and she'll be willing and wanting to fix all her red flags or all her trauma or all her shit. It doesn't work that way, man. It's up to the individual. And, inside of that relationship, I had my red flags. I had my trauma that though I wanted to and I tried to, sometimes I couldn't. Sometimes my trauma and my red flags showed up even when I didn't want them to. So again, it's not all on her. It's on me too, and it's on everybody. It goes back to self-awareness. Everyone has red flags. Are you willing to put in the work to get better, right? But again, you cannot change anybody. That person is going to have to want to change. That person has to be able to look in the mirror and be like, hey, I don't communicate well. I need to work on it. Or, fuck, I don't know how to process my feelings. I may need to go to therapy. But goes back to sometimes being self-aware can be hard because you look in the mirror and you see all of your inadequacies. And it's hard for some people. Me, there's a lot of shit that I need to work on, but I don't give a fuck. I can look in the mirror and say, I'm anxious. I love too much. I'm a fucking people pleaser. You know, I need reassurance a lot of the times, and be able to be like, I need to work on that shit. You know, that shit is ugly, you know, and you shouldn't go into a relationship thinking that someone needs to reassure you in the relationship. You reassure yourself. You know what you bring to a relationship, Alan, and it's not on anybody else to fucking make you feel reassured in that relationship. That's on you, buddy. That's on me, right? So I need to work on that. Those are signs that I need to work on, red flags I need to work on. And a lot of people can't look in the mirror and identify that about themselves because it's too scary, because it's too much, because it shows that they're not perfect, and everybody wants to be perfect. Everyone wants to put up a facade of who they are when they're really not that person. And that goes back to social media is big on that. A lot of people look at social media like, fuck, that person's perfect. Or look at that body. Damn, that motherfucker goes to the gym and look how strong he is. Or damn, she's beautiful. Or look at her hair. Look at her makeup. Or damn, she's like a size 2. I'm a size 13. Whatever it may be. There's so much bullshit on social media that makes you second guess who you are. If you're listening to this fucking podcast or you're watching it, you're fucking amazing. All right? Don't ever judge yourself by other people and how they look. Because what you see on social media, most of that shit is bullshit. Most of that shit is fucking fake. Most of that is just people putting their best self, their best moments out. They're not putting the hard shit. They're not putting the fucking shit of them being assholes or them being insecure about themselves or them not being able to love for whatever reason. A lot of people do not put the bad side of them out on social media because it's hard. It's tough because a lot of us don't want to be judged. You know, I'm there sometimes too. I don't like to be judged, but who gives a fuck? People are going to judge you either way. If you put out your best content or your best self, quote unquote, people are going to fucking judge you. If you're real and you tell people, hey man, I'm a fucking people pleaser, but I'm working on it. You know, I have anxious attachment when I get into a relationship and I fucking need reassurance, but you know what? I'm working on it. They're going to judge you. So it doesn't fucking matter what you do. People are going to judge. But remember, most of the shit on social media is just the best part of them and not entirely who they are. So remember that next time you're on social media. So how to address red flags. Bringing up concerns early. You need to bring them up. You need to let them know like, hey, I think this is a red flag, you know, and I think we need to talk about it. You know, it scares me that you don't communicate your feelings. And I'm worried that, you know, 6 months down the road, when we get into an argument or when I'm asking you how you're feeling, you're not going to be able to express that to me. And I feel like that could be a concern later down in the relationship. What do you think? Are you willing to work on it? Can we work on it together? Can we go to therapy together? This shit where you make it a team and not just their fault or they're the problem. Or like, hey, I have red flags on myself. And I know if you haven't noticed them, I've noticed them. And I need to work on them. And I'm going to work on them. And this is what I'm going to do to work on it. This is what you need to do in a relationship. Not always blame the other person or see their faults, but see your faults too. And tell them like, hey, I want to work on it. I want to work on me. I want to work on us. But you need to bring up their red flags in a respectful manner, though, not in a blame game type of way. Trust in your gut feeling. Listen, if something doesn't feel right, it's essential to trust what you're feeling and not ignore it. Okay? Go with your gut. If you think that that person is a bad person, that they're rude and disrespectful, and that they don't show up for you, and they don't communicate well, and they're not putting in any effort, go with your gut and fucking move on. Let them know like, hey, nothing towards you, nothing ill. There's no bad blood here. I wish you well. I'm going to go my way because we've been talking and dating for a couple of months now, and I see no change. I see the same bullshit, or not bullshit. I see the same patterns, and you're not changing your patterns. And you said you would, but you haven't. And how much more time do you want me to waste? How much more time do you want me to invest when you're not putting any effort to improve, to get better? I love you. I care about you, whatever it may be. But I need to move on because I'm wasting my time with someone who's not fucking trying to get better, someone who's not trying to work on the relationship. And it goes back and it goes to the last one, knowing when to walk away. You have to know when to walk away from the relationship. It's okay to end things if red flags persist. It goes back to if that person says, hey, I'm going to work on myself, and you're talking about 2-3 months later and you've seen no work, you've seen no improvement, and it's not even improvement, it's them trying, like, oh shit, fuck, I yelled, I'm sorry. My bad, I'm still working on it. If you don't see any of that, if you don't see any self-awareness, any improvement, any accountability, then you need to know when to walk away. What is your cutoff? When are you going to stop wasting their time, your time, value yourself, respect yourself, and walk away? That is a question only you can answer. When to walk away from a relationship that is not good for you, not healthy for you, and is not going in any fucking direction. All right, so today we covered several important red flags from lack of communication, inconsistency, and jealousy and negativity. All right, these signs can sometimes be subtle, but they're critical to watch out for if you want a healthy relationship. All right, so if this episode resonated with you, I want you to share it with someone you think could benefit from hearing it. And if you have your own red flag experiences, let me know. In the comments below, let me know some of the red flags you've noticed in previous relationships or in your current relationship, and let's talk about it, all right? I'd love to feature your stories in future episodes. So next episode for next week is going to be anxious attachment style. We're going to talk about my attachment style and everything that comes with it. And I can't wait to dive into that next episode. So with that being said, thank you for stopping by. Please follow the podcast. Please follow me on social media. You can find me on TikTok at Release Control Podcast. You can find me on YouTube at Release Control Podcast. On X, Release Control Podcast. You can find me on IG. I just started my IG. I'm trying to build that up at Release Control Podcast. So thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it all. And till next week, everyone. Bye.